Hi, School 33 friends. Mrs. Heisinger here again. I have a fun story for you today. I am making this video. It is Tuesday, May 26th, and it is really, really hot outside. It's like 80-something degrees. So I thought it would be fun if we read a story about popsicles and how popsicles came to be, because I'm sure on a day like today, you would love to have a popsicle. I know I would, but I don't have any in my freezer. Hopefully you do. So here is the story. You can see the title is Popsicles. And if you look, there are some words that I underlined in blue. So before we start to read, we're going to talk about those words that might trick you a little bit. And before we even go there, I'm going to take a second and ask you to pause this to go get a notebook or a piece of paper and a pencil. I'm not sure if maybe you have a paper you could write on the back, or if you have a notebook that you've been doing your schoolwork in, but go grab that and then start the video when you're ready. Okay, so hopefully you have all you need, because you can see there's some questions at the bottom you can write the answers to in your journal or on your paper. So take a peek at the first word underlined in blue, right up there. I just put a dot by it. That word says invented. Invented. Do you know what invented means? It means something was created, something was made. Then if you look at this next word down here where I just put that blue dot, it has a capital C. That's California. That's one of the states in the United States. Then the last two words I highlighted over here, or underlined, the first word is Frank, which I'm sure was not too tricky to read. And then the next word is his last name. It's Epperson. So here's a good trick. If you're reading by yourself and you try to tap out a word and it's someone's name and you just can't figure it out, it's okay. Don't spend too much time on it. You could call him Frank E. if you couldn't figure out what his last name said, okay? All right, so we are going to start reading. If you want to try and read this by yourself, you can pause this and read it by yourself and then play it when you're ready to hear me read it. Or if you want to read it with me, you can just continue to play. So the title is Popsicles. Make sure your fingers are near the words. Do you like popsicles? Did you know they were invented by a kid? Not only were they invented by a kid, but it happened by accident. One night in 1905, an 11-year-old boy from California named Frank Epperson made a drink for himself by stirring some soda powder with a cup of water. Later, he left the drink outside and went to bed. With the stick still inside the cup, the drink froze during the cold night. When Frank woke up, he had a frozen drink on a stick. Frank continued to make them for others and later started selling them. He called them Popsicles. Later, his own children changed the name to Popsicles. As you know, popsicles are still very popular today. The cherry popsicle, the most popular flavor, even has its own day. August 26th is National Cherry Popsicle Day. Now, that is a whole lot of information that I did not know. So, take a peek at the first question. I think it's pretty awesome that an 11-year-old created the popsicle. And could you imagine if we still called them Popsicles? Sounds kind of funny now. So question 1 says, what did Frank do before he went to bed that cold night? You should always make sure you go back into the text to find the answer. What did Frank do before he went to bed? So that's the key word, before. Oh, let's see. You can pause if you want to try and find it. But I'm going to look. Okay, I see the sentence where it says one night. I'll put a red dot. One night in 1905, an 11-year-old boy from California named Frank Epperson made a drink for himself by stirring some soda powder with a cup, of water. It's kind of hard to write with the pen I have. So what did Frank do before he went to bed that cold night? We have to restate our question. So take a minute and think. I know I talked a lot about this with the friends I worked with. How do you answer a question? By using the words in the question. We would start by saying Frank, because that's who we're talking about. Frank, sorry friends, my writing is very messy. These pens are tricky. Frank made a drink for himself. Okay, so I'm going to write that, and you can write that in your notebook. Frank made I'm going to go off of my paper just because my writing is very big. Made a drink for himself. Now, if you wanted to add lots more details, which is always awesome, you could add the rest of that sentence by stirring some soda powder with a cup of water. I don't have a lot of room, but if you have a piece of paper and lots of room, then go ahead. All right, question number 2. Why is the popsicle called an accidental invention? Why is it an accidental invention? So if you look back in the story, you're not going to see these words together, accidental invention, but you will see up at the top, it says they were invented by accident. Do you know that accident means not on purpose? He wasn't trying to do that. So why was it an accidental invention? What made it an accident? That's right. Frank wasn't saying, hey, what would happen if I froze this drink? What would I have left? He did it on accident. He didn't clean up after himself. He left his cup outside, and then it froze. So we have to restate the question. We would have to say, it is an accidental, and you can pause this video. If I'm going too fast, you can pause it and take your time. Accidental invention. Eek, ran out of room. Because, that's the key word. We need to have because to explain. Frank, what? Did Frank mean to do it? No, he did not. Frank did not mean to do it. He didn't mean to make the popsicle. Excellent. Now, last question. More than 100 years later, popsicles are still popular. Why do you think they are such a popular food? Now, the key word in this question is why. Why usually means it's not going to be in the story. It's going to be in your head. It says, why do you think? It's asking your opinion. What do you think? Not what is a fact. What does everybody think? It's what do you think? So for me, I think popsicles are still popular because they are sweet and sugary and a great treat on a hot day. That's what I think. Maybe you think something different. You can go ahead and write why you think they are still popular. And you can pause this to do that. I'm just going to show you the next page I have here. So on this next page, if you wanted to do some more writing, it says write 4 facts that you have learned from your reading passages, but we just read 1 today. So on your paper, you could just list 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can go back to the story. I'll click back for you. and pick 4 things that were new that you learned. Did you like that? Was that fun? I hope it was, and I hope you have some popsicles at home. Have a great day, friends. I will talk to you soon.